Southeast DC is nothing like when I grew up there, or
Yeah, like yeah,
not
like
there, but in the area. But yeah,
yeah, like like when we started going down there in like '06, '07 doing shows, we would go through. I'm terrible with knowing where I would be back then. I just would be in like again the whole I'm just along for the ride. I just would be in the car. But like, I think we could like go past Howard or something and be like, oh man, like this, they trying to fix this up over here. They doing X, Y, and Z over here. U Street about to look like this, and blah blah blah. And just watching, watching Brooklyn and watching the Bronx, and even going back to like the whole Giuliani cleaning up 42nd Street, blah blah blah. And some people argue taking the flavor away. Yeah, it took the danger away, but you took the flavor away too. And that's another thing I was trying to talk about. Like, I'm not here to big up the danger and people getting robbed and shit. I'm just talking about the flavor and the community and the art and blah blah blah. And I just kept having this conversation with so many people, and the Big Daddy Kane saying that was so important to me because, Combat Jack, when he interjected and said, "You met Biz at Albee Square." Albee Square Mall is such a huge part of so many Brooklyn artists from the Big Daddy Kane era to like Sky Zoo and myself today. We'll talk about Albee Square Mall, whether we were little kids going to Toys R Us or you was going to get your truck jewelry out of there in the 80s or whatever. We all have an Albee Square Mall story. And just to hear Combat Jack say, "Yo, Kane, yeah, you met Biz at Albee Square." It's like these guys were my superheroes. So it's like saying, yeah, man, that was like the freaking, I can't think of the Avengers Tower right now, but like that was like the Hall of Justice. You know what I mean?
and even
It's like,
Biz Markie made the Albee Square Mall song.
yeah, yeah. It's like that. It was like, and then if you know about like Georgia Westinghouse and like Biggie, Jay-Z, and Busta battling at the high school downtown Brooklyn up the street from Albee Square and like stuff like that. It's like downtown Brooklyn was like this hub for like hip hop. And to just hear Kane and his own cool, Kane is always cool. It's like, it's no disrespect. It's not really my thing. And it's like what I knew was gone. And hearing him say that, and then me being 10 years younger than him or so, and he was like a superhero to me and still is. And me being able to say that, and then generations after me can say, man, I remember when we used to go to 106 in Park, and then that was their Albee Square Mall. And now, they can't, it's always a generation that can't do what they used to do. And something that was a part of them is gone. Like I was too young to be at Latin Quarter, but my friends, like we had the tunnel or whatever, like in the last days, and like, the Palladium or whatever. And then, everybody has their era and where they get their flavor from in their part of town, and then it goes away, it disappears, and now you don't have this thing anymore. And what is it called in DC? What is that lounge called? And they shut it down. It's like a cave downstairs. There's like a 3-level joint, had like the piano awning. I forget the name of the club. It's like
I hadn't been to that one.
Yeah, it's like it looks like a cave downstairs. It's something lounge. I'm tripping, but it was like this. We would always perform there, and I was gone. I like, like just so many places you go. Like,
well, that's
it
throughout.
just happens. Yeah.
Well, throughout your career, from P's Got to Have It all the way up, solo artist at least, this has been a recurring thing. Things have changed. City for Sale, of things changing, and things always change. Everything changes. People change. Our attitudes change. Everything changes, but we also have nostalgia and we miss things. So how have you found you've been able to kind of balance that nostalgia and love for things versus being able to survive, thrive, and keep going in the present time?
What I'm trying to do now, like, actually, I don't live in Brooklyn anymore. I probably live closer to Big Daddy Kane now than I did. I'm in North Carolina, and my family's from down here, and funny enough, when Don and myself, when we put out Don and Vaughn, I was like, I went back to New York and I treated it like I was visiting. I didn't go to New York like, because this was after the pandemic. I didn't go to New York like, on that city for sale energy. I'm like, I'm visiting here. What's here? Oh, what's this new coffee shop? Let me go in here. And I was like, yo, this is kind of fun. What I grew up on is not what it was. This is a new place. That's okay. And to be the guy that made this album that was, for me, was just as somber and melancholy as Duly Noted probably was. Like I treat City for Sale like a breakup album almost. So to go back now and to be where I am today, I don't look at stuff anymore. Like I'm not looking to, like, I don't need them to rebuild Albee Square Mall or to rebuild Beat Street Records or to rebuild Empire Skating Rink or any of that stuff. Now I'm like, look, man, what's up with the future? What we doing next? Where we going with it? And I'm always gonna have that nostalgia side to me. I mean, some of the music I have coming out, without giving anything away, I have some nostalgia based stuff that might hit before the summer, knock on wood. But I also I'm trying to just look forward to, like, where can I go next? Because I personally feel like a part that's missing from my career, my catalog, is having that full definitive. Some people would say I have a sound, but I feel like I have a sound that fits in with a corner of people. You know what I mean? Like, you can play my music with these other guys, but then you can also, when you hear you hear Primo beats, like, that's Primo. I can tell that's Madlib. I can tell that's Alchemist or whatever. And it's like, I just want to get even more into what do I sound like. So when you hear somebody that sounds like me, like, that person sounds like Von P. And I think that's flattering. And in my travels, I have heard people that have been fans of ours that sound like us, and they will say it. And I got this from you guys. But yeah, I think I lost my train of thought a little bit, although I trail off a lot.
But
But
you were saying about your sound, making your own
yeah,
sound.
yeah, I think for what I'm trying to do going forward in the future is just lean more into what my sound is next, and bring back bring some of my influences, pull back some, and get more into what I am and who I plan to sound like, and just explore that more and be more on my own shit, basically. And not ignoring these guys and the guys I spoke for hours about earlier, and all the artists I love and grew up on, but now as like a grown ass man in music. Not talking about as an adult, but like I said, I'm gonna be 20 years in. So I have to, like, officially be like, yo, this is Von P sound. Now some people might say I have that vocally, like my voice and things like that, but like sonically, I want to get more into what I sound like. I feel like we have that with the Duly Noted series. I feel like Duly Noted sounds like that sounds like Von P and Aeon. That's what that is. But I just want to explore that more in the future and see, who I sound like, and pull back on some of the nostalgia, unless it's 100% purposeful. And I have some of it, without saying too much. I have some stuff that's like purposeful. And one of the people we've mentioned today, I did like a ode to them.
All right.
And like, I just want to explore and see what I end up sounding like in the next year or 2 or 3.
Well, I'm excited to hear that. One other thing before we go for City for Sale that I thought was really interesting was the norm, because you're talking about on that one, this is the block that wasn't gentrified. So it's like cleaning up, again, has its positives and negatives. And I thought that on the norm, you did a great job of that, because one other thing you were saying, whether it's a cop or a robber, it's the same problem. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, there's all these issues, and if you clean up one issue, there's a different issue that may have the same result. And
Yeah.
I thought that The Norm was another great song on City for Sale, which I think is an excellent project for everybody that hasn't checked it out. Definitely should. You also
Thank
had
you. I
uh,
just want to say, sorry. I just want to add to that. The Norm, to me, the Norm is the intro to Brooklyn drill. Because when you listen to Brooklyn drill, that is all the blocks that weren't gentrified. So yeah, not sonically, just story wise. Like I was just letting y'all know, hey, these kids are on their way.
there it is. You
Yeah.
also have One Day for Day Ones, the Dirty Deacon as well. You got a lot of other music coming out too. So what should we be checking forward, thinking about, looking forward to?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me and letting me ramble. I can talk, as you see. So yeah, we got Duly Noted 2. We did a soft release on Bandcamp with the vinyl, and the vinyl has Duly Noted 1 and 2 on the vinyl. But Duly Noted Part 2 officially comes out on streaming January 20th. I'm doing the third installment with the other guys, like you spoke about, To You, and the second album was The Fiasco. We have the third album coming, and like I said, me and Don, we're working on some more music. Of course, Tanya Morgan's always working, and I have some stuff. I just want to start, not so much experimenting, but just like I said, man, I want to. My dream really is to like go in the basement and come out the basement dusty a year or two later and hold it up and be like, "This is what I sound like now." You know what I mean? And that's the dream, man. So, I have stuff that's in the works that's rolling out for this year that we've been working on. But to be honest, I'm most excited about the stuff that I'm about to go in the basement and just like become a madman and figure out and pop up in 2024. And it's either gonna sound like shit or it's gonna be like, I've never heard this before. This is cool. So we'll see.
Well, there it is. Well, Von P, thanks so much for coming through to Unique Access, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Best with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.
Choose one.